of finger painting is live. Cool. I need to adjust my sound and whatnot.
All right. Hello, sports fans. It's 4:30 one more again, and we're back at it. Another fun-filled, interesting evening of talking about our favorite subject, Web's Canvas. Canvas is amazing. Canvas is our favorite subject, isn't it?
Yeah, let's say that.
It's amazing. Canvas is amazing. And tonight we're going to celebrate the life of Gustave Courbet, celebrated realist. Go and Google Gustave Courbet if you have an opportunity. And we're talking about realism. And realism in terms of screen sharing, screen capturing. Asynchronous doesn't mean that you can't collaborate. It just means that your students are with you. And so we're going to kind of have our, I've named it now, Ask a Software Developer. I don't think that's what the original concept was, but we're going to ask a software developer first. We're going to lead us off and let Webs wax philosophic about a different flavor of her current job that hopefully will impact and encourage you as an educator. So, as always, we are the Intelligent Hoodlums, established in 2015. We are here to help. We are former teacher in Webb's case, but a current practicing Clark County School District educator in my case. Webbs, go and introduce yourself again for those who are just new to the program.
Yes. So, hi, I'm Webbs. Currently a software developer. I spent, I usually say 9 years, but I was thinking more about it, and I spent a whole year substitute teaching as well. So maybe I could round it up to 10 because just, it just is like a nice round number. But as in my time in education, I was a classroom teacher, grades 2 through 5. I wrote curriculum. I was a digital learning coach, spent my last year teaching 3rd grade. And then I taught myself to be a software developer. So now I take things I learn in tech, bring them into education, and things I learn in education, and I take them to tech. So while I am technically still a licensed teacher, I even have my administrative credential.
Indeed. You could be your boss.
I could be your next AP. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so I do actually work to kind of help encourage good pedagogical practices within the field of tech as well. And one of the things we're going to talk about today is something that I'm particularly passionate about. So who are you, sir?
Is that a Big Gretsch t-shirt? Is that what you're wearing today?
Yes, it is a Big Gretsch t-shirt.
Indeed.
Shout out to my Michigan peeps.
Indeed. Big Gretsch. Big Gretsch. Indeed. I'm just a teacher, dude. Been doing it 17 years. Still grinding in these streets, man. Still grinding these streets. So let's get to the program. Now, for our Ask a Software Developer time this evening, Webbs, you do something called pairing on a regular basis. Mm-hmm. What does that mean?
Also, if you're watching or I don't know where you're watching, if you're on Twitter, if you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, feel free to ask questions in the comments.
Facts.
Just give us a, hey, how's it going? Let us know where you're watching from. Are you CCDSD folks? Are you watching from somewhere else in the country or around the world? We'd love to hear about it. So what is pairing? As a software developer, one of the things that we do, and this isn't true of every software development position, it's not true of every company, but it is something that I have experienced in my time as a software developer. Pairing is when 2 developers work on the same task. So I might have to add a feature, say the chat function, right? So let's say that I'm a software developer working on adding a chat function to YouTube or Facebook or whatever application I'm working on. Both myself and one other developer will work on that task together. And the reason for that being, one, knowledge sharing. So, if something were to happen to me, this other developer knows what's going on with that task. Also, it helps to spread. We also do pair rotation. So at some point, I may leave that card, that story, and that task, and a new developer will roll on to that task, depending on how long it takes. And so it allows us to share that knowledge throughout the team. Another reason for pairing is if you're working on something by yourself, sometimes you get caught up in your own head. And so it helps to do what's called rubber ducking. And that's where you just kind of think out loud. You do a think aloud, think through the problem that you're having, think through what you know. And teachers were really familiar with think alouds, right? We do that for our students all the time. So that's something that we do so that if we do get stuck, we have someone else to say, oh, that makes sense. That doesn't make sense. Maybe we should try this other route. Because what kind of happens when you work on a problem all by yourself is you start to sort of spin your wheels a little bit. I'm sure you've experienced this before, right, Mike?
Facts.
So like you're working on something and you hit a wall and you're not really sure how to get through it. Well, when you're pairing with someone, you naturally have another person to bounce that idea off of. I think this would be especially important for teachers right now because you're dealing with an environment and a place that you're not familiar with. And you may be working in Canvas, trying to build your course, and you hit a wall where you're like, I'm not really sure how to do this. If you have a pair, you have someone you can reach out to and say, hey, help me out here. Because your pair is basically like your super local PLN because they're sitting right next to you. I mean, sometimes that's remotely sitting right next to you. But it's your immediate person you can go to kind of try to help you work through a problem. So yeah, that's the basics of pairing.
So, I mean, that's cool. And since you do your work remotely, right?
Yes.
How could this strategy be utilized in a classroom setting, given that we're going to be having to do this soon?
So, yeah, that's a great question. And remote pairing, like when you're in-person pairing, you're usually sitting next to each other. Maybe one person is navigating and one person is driving. You have two keyboards hooked up to the same computer. What that looks like remotely is we use tools to screen share. So when, for example, right before this, I was just walking my QA quality analyst through the work that I had done today over the last couple days. And demonstrating like, hey, this is what I did. This is why I did this. Showing my thinking, again, doing that think aloud, explaining these are the decisions I made and this is why I made them. Seeing if they had any questions about it. And we used Zoom. You could also use Teams. I believe Google Meet also has screen sharing. Any of those tools you can screen share with. Some of them even have the ability for you to control the other person's machine. So sometimes doing remote pairing, we would do that. Like I would screen share, but then give my pair control to be able to type on my computer. I think you can also do asynchronous pairing. So sometimes because our schedules don't match up, I'm part of a distributed team. A good number of them are on the East Coast. Some are in Central Time. There's a couple that are in Pacific Time like I am. We may do divide and conquer. So we'll share a document or we'll share maybe information like on our story card. And we'll kind of type out like, hey, this is what I worked on today. This is what I got done. Here's all the information about the research that I did. And then when that person is able to sign on, they can then pick up from there and continue working on the content for that story, research, whatever it is we need. So you don't always have to be synchronous to be able to pair. It just simply means that you're both working toward the same goal and you're communicating what you're doing so that your pair can pick up where you left off.
And I like that you said working toward the same goal. There's something tangible that we're both trying to accomplish. It's not an amorphous. It's not this, it's not anything that's muddy. It's a clear, this is what we're trying to get accomplished. And both people or the entire team is kind of focused on that deal. And so as you were speaking, initially, the first things come to your mind are very, very simple things that you could do, right? So just Google Slides allows you to have leave comments and move things around and say, you did X, Y, and Z. Not something that's a terribly sophisticated tool, given all the tools are out there, right? A tool that, most likely a lot of people are going to be familiar with. So there is you don't have to be uber sophisticated here. You can be very, very simple and do the exact process you just described, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I saw a tweet earlier today that said, keep it simple, keep it simple, keep it simple. And I couldn't agree with that more. Like you don't need to overcomplicate the process. Pairing can be something as simple as like, we're sharing the same document. I'm communicating where I left off. Or it could be in real time. But yeah, I agree. Keep it simple. It doesn't have to be super overly complicated.
So, and that's something that we've tried to preach the last couple of days. It's like, look, You don't need to learn all the ins and outs of Canvas. You just need to know how to cheat. And again, cheating is good. Um, Embed codes let you make some things look amazing, and this is another reason why we're going to kind of look at the screen sharing or screen casting tools that we're going to be using tonight. They all have some. They live on the web, and they live on the web in that giving you that embed power. And so there are, you'll have people screencastify and all this other stuff. That's you're like, cool, that's really good. But screencastify goes in my Google Drive. I don't feel like waiting for that. I want to just live on the web. I can take it and put it somewhere, and it's done. And the tools that we have tonight, the last one that we're going to deal with is my favorite screen casting tool of all time. Like no one beats this particular tool in any metric. Again, it is it's another part of my Thanos. It's one of the six stones. So it's part of that gauntlet. So let's go and take a ride through the internet really quickly. We'll stop. We'll have some conversation and laugh a little bit and whatnot. So first and foremost is Dub, and Dub is like so this is the other thing to do. Stop being a teacher and start being an entrepreneur. Right? Look at what entrepreneurs, what tech people are using, what corporations are using. Don't look at what teachers are using because, again, unfortunately, education lags behind in terms of innovation. These people are moving forward. You want to kind of catch them by the tail and get dragged by them. So Dub is not an education tool per se. Go ahead, Webbs.
No, I was just going to say something that is a kind of an advantage of doing that is often these tools don't think about education. So if you get in early and say, hey, I see an education application to this tool, sometimes they'll let you have it for free. So how many times have you had your like versioning bumped up? Either you get more instances of whatever it is, or you get some kind of perk from telling them you're a teacher who's using this tool with students.
At least 7-8 times. Generally, it's like, hey, I like your stuff. I just use this with some 5-year-olds. They like it too. Why would you think about the babies? And suddenly it's like, oh, you can use that with 5-year-olds? Oh yeah, you can use that. If I can embed it, I can show them how to use it. And if I'm standing beside them, I can do what I need. That's a little bit more difficult now in that I'm not standing behind somebody who's 5 or beside somebody who's 5. But overall, if you go through hunting through the internet looking for companies who are burgeoning startups and things like that, and you say, I'm a teacher, and you weren't thinking about the ed tech space in particular, but your tool would solve this problem for us, generally they're cool with you. And there's it's quite a few tools that I have now in my back pocket that did not start as teacher tools that were just like, oh, we're doing marketing, or we're doing advertising, or we're building these kind of pitch decks for people. Like, for example, what we're presenting off of is called Pitch. Totally new, it's in beta. I kind of saw him and was like, oh, this is interesting. This is like sexier Google Slides built for small teams. You know what a classroom is? A small team. Why wouldn't I want to play around with this tool? Because they're thinking corporate, and what are we as teachers? We're trying to prepare college and career ready students. Well, why not use college career ready tools in order to do that? So Dub is really cool because, first and foremost, there is a teacher and educator plan. It did not start out that way. I've been with Dub for a couple of years now, but that's there. Doesn't cost you anything. You can kind of use what you want to use there. The storage is unlimited. You're getting standard video quality, but so what? It's free. There's no HD. The Dub logo is going to be in your stuff. Again, so what? The Dub URL will be in your stuff. So what? The Dub chat is going to be available to you, so you can chat in the Dub. Essentially, you can build your own little mini company in your classroom and have a chat function built into it. It's really, really fun to do. There's also the Chrome extension. You got the Gmail extension there as well, so it will integrate into your Gmail. So if you want to shoot a tutorial and send it directly through Gmail, that video, the little gift of the video, will be right in your Gmail. You send it to the person. I just did this today with an admin showing her a process in Canvas, actually. Sent it to her. Boom. She was like, oh, that's really cool. The video's in there. Exactamundo. And so you have
I think
go ahead, Webbs.
Oh yeah, I think too. This is gonna be probably one of your most powerful tools because you're gonna spend a lot of time walking people through things remotely, whether that's a student or a parent or another teacher. Screen recording is probably like easily, maybe just like your most powerful tool ever at all.
Facts. So this is asynchronous in a nutshell. No video, probably no asynchronous, and there's no definitely not going to be able to integrate new tools into your workflow. So just to take a look behind the hood. All right, great. So I kept my personal account off. This is just our Hoodlums account. I play around in here sometimes. So we got 9 videos, great, fine, dandy. There's add-ons and all kind of stuff inside. You can get really wild with like the all the crazy stuff that pops in here. I don't use this for screen sharing except for when I do schoolwork. I use another tool when I'm doing screen sharing, like bigger, in a bigger place. But you can pop here. If you pop up there, you can record with the camera directly inside the interface. I can record my screen. I can add something from YouTube into the video, which gives you another little added power. If there's happen to be something from YouTube that I want to integrate, I can do that. Upload from your computer. So, got a piece of video that you want to integrate into this, you can do that. Um, we kind of got the hustle on here. So we got HD. That's my microphone. You can put a virtual background in there. You can blur your background. So if you really want to kind of be like, oh my goodness, I'm like gonna do like a studio quality hustle. This is kind of a tool that you can do that to make yourself look like a really boss. So that's
Something
Dub.
to
Go ahead, Webs.
Something to consider about doing screen recordings and recording video in general is that means you don't have to do it again. So if you record how to do something once, save that in your library. I guarantee you someone will ask you the same question again, whether it's, like I said, a student, administrator, another teacher, a parent, and then you only have to record it once, and then you can just keep sharing out that link of how to do it. So also keep in mind when you're doing recordings, screen recordings, video recordings, whatever, try to make it general. Don't say, hey, Bob, this is how you do this thing, yada, yada. Just say, so I'm going to walk you through X process. Here are the different steps to it. We're going to hit each of those right now. And then you can recycle that video over and over and over. And you don't have to record a new one every time.
Write a script.
Yeah.
Write a script. So like sometimes I come off the head with stuff because I've done this process so many times. Like I can't forget how to do this. So it's boom, 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 boom. But if you're like, I really want to ensure that my 5-year-old is going to understand exactly all, you have to be uber paranoid and don't skip anything. And the best way to do that is write it down and kind of, you don't have to have a scenario in which you're like reading verbatim off of it, but big bullet points. Don't forget this. Okay, don't forget this. Don't forget this. Don't forget this. Webs.
Another tripping point you might run across, particularly with the littles, is if you're working your way through a video of how to do something and you make a mistake, take the time to go back and fix that mistake. Because if you leave it in there thinking, oh, that's okay, I corrected it, they'll figure it out, I can tell you from experience they won't. And it will make them confused and it'll like double and triple your work. So take the time to start by scripting it out, and eventually you'll be able to scaffold away from using that script the more that you do these walkthrough videos. But if you make a mistake, again, especially if you're dealing with the littles, make sure that you go back and fix that mistake, because it's going to cause you more problems to leave it in and try to say, oh, I didn't mean to go there, I meant to go here, don't pay attention to that first step that I just did. So yeah, just don't send it out with the mistake in it. It'll save you a lot of headache.
The other thing I like about Dub is there is an app for your iPhone and for your iPad, so you can build those in there, and they have the CTAs, which calls to action, being able to embed those links and via buttons into video, really powerful. It's the reason why I like my Thanos tool here, but Dub lets you do that as well.
What is a call to action? Why would a teacher need to use it?
Say I wanted the kids to go to a particular place once I'm finished the video. I can just link that into the video. The kids would click it afterward, and I would send them right where I need to go. Another reason why call to action might be, like, for example, if you're using Canvas, Google Classroom, whatever, those links, you could have links to the actual page where they're going to turn it in as the call to action, right? So we'll kind of get to that once we get to the Loom at the very end, because it's really easy to put call to actions in there. And I think Loom is a tool that once you see it, if you're not familiar with it, you'll instantaneously see the value in a classroom for the tool. So Dub, it is a marketing tool. That's what it says. More opens, more bookings, more conversions. I'm like, it's an education tool because it has some stuff that you can deal with. And they give teachers a free account, even though it's just a standard definition one. The other one is if you are a Mac user. And if you're not, you should be a Mac user. This is a life-saving tool for slobs like myself. Now, if you are like me and not like Weber, because I'm assuming Weber's desktop is clean, my desktop has all type of stuff on it, like all kind of crap, which makes it very difficult to record because it's all kind of stuff on there. However, if you look at my desktop in this video, there's nothing there. Oh my God, that's amazing. This tool is doing it for me. So it'll hide my desktop so I can record my things in peace and still be the slob that I love and enjoy. Now, clean shot.
I do have one column of icons.
Okay, that's one column of icons, fam. But it's not like generally, I've got document, videos, pictures all over. There's no rhyme or reason to it.
It looks like icon vomit just all over your desktop.
And
there have to be 200 icons on your desktop.
So, like, again, that's how I roll. And Clean Shot lets me be who I am. Now, it's only on Mac. I'm going to show our Mac heads out there. It's like $20 or something like that. I love it because of the fact that it lets you screenshot really, really quickly. You can annotate on the screenshot without having to throw through anything else. Boom, boom, boom. And it's 50, there's 50 things you can do, but it's really like 6 apps in one. And all this stuff, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. Don't care about that. Don't care about that at all. That's cool. It's this part, right? So, really like the fact that I am a GIF hard G person. I like GIFs. GIFs fit different places. GIFs can be dragged different places. GIFs do amazing things. I like hard G GIFs. And this lets you build those hard G GIFs very, very quickly and record as well, right? Very, very. Exactly, Casey. Exactly. Casey knows what's up. Again, the messy desktop, I'm not going to say I'm a creative person, but I'll take that as a compliment. So those things are really dope. It automatically will hide my notifications for me. So if I forget to pop that, do not disturb on, as long as I'm in Clean Shot, it's not going to let those things pop off for me. All right. Records for your Mac on iOS. It will highlight the mouse clicks and keystrokes, and there's a trim tool. You can pin the screenshots. Don't care about that. This is the deal. This is the Mike Lang reason for why I bought this. It will hide the clutter on your desktop, and it's perfect for screen sharing. When I have to go and deal with teachers on Zoom, Clean Shot. And I don't even have to be doing anything. I can just hide everything that's there. And it's like I'm a perfectly normal human being. It's amazing. It works very well. I enjoy it very much. And it allows me to be me.
It's the digital equivalent of shoving everything into the closet.
Exactly. And it's wonderful. So again, if I wouldn't have told you why my desktop was so clean, you would have no idea why it was so clean. Clean Shot did that. It's a wonderful tool. Go holla at it if you're a Mac user. Also, that self-timer is really dope as well. So, the tool that you're probably familiar with is Flipgrid. And Flipgrid they keep making this tool more amazing. And I hate to give Microsoft props, but this is the one thing they didn't mess up.
Every now and then they get it right. I was just saying there's a feature in Teams I actually like.
What feature does that happen to be?
So you can be in a call and see the chat from other calls. So you we used it today for basically we did a jigsaw to put it in teacher terms. We did a jigsaw. So we had 3 breakout rooms, and the folks who were in the breakout rooms could still see the chat that was happening in the main room. So we could make announcements like, hey, you only have 2 minutes left, or, here's where you should switch or whatever. So every now and then, Microsoft gets something right.
That's dope. That's dope. So you can do this same process inside the groups, but I'm just going to do it with shorts. I like shorts. I like shorts, especially if you have a computer that's not like a high-end computer. You've got a Chromebook or something like that. Shorts work very, very well. So I've got tons of shorts inside there of me being silly and being stupid. But record video inside here, and you're going to notice next to options, record screen. So inside here, this is a recent addition. You can record the screen while you're in Flipgrid. So if you do not have a web-based screen recorder, you could do the same thing inside Flipgrid. Makes it really awesome. It makes it even more awesome. This is a tool that if it's not in your teacher toolkit, it's not in your students' toolkits as well, then this is the one that you got to throw inside there because it's a massively cool tool. So you can upload clips into your short. You can mirror your videos. If I want to go back and forth and kind of like give that, you see how that head nod moves? That's pretty slick. If you want to go and get that kind of walk like an Egyptian type situation there, you can do that. You can mute yourself, of course. You record your screen. You also got your whiteboard in there. So one of the things that Google Meet, they're going to add the Jamboard. I saw from their blog post. They're going to add the Jamboard to Google Meet eventually, just not anytime soon. Like it's going to be a month or so. So if you need to use your whiteboard, you can throw that board back there and do what you need to do. You want to do dot matrix, just want a regular sheet of paper, graph paper, or whatever. Great. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of the board. You can throw and do what you need to do. If you're on an iPad or a phone, you can flip the screens. You can go back in. This is a great tool for like scavenger hunts or kids, again, that kids going outside and taking photographs of what their neighborhood looks like every day, maybe a picture a day or something kind of project like that. Just recording, you rock and roll. And again, any of these deals here, the embed code is there at the bottom. So I can embed that directly inside of my Canvas course. You see embed code, part of you should celebrate that now I can look like really, really dope for my kids and make it look like I have all these magic powers when in fact I just took a piece of HTML and threw it inside of Canvas. So the other cool thing about that is the captions. I really like that. Again, look at that accessibility piece. Another reason why you might want to use this, it automatically captions it for you. If it messes up, you can go and change it and then update the caption. So if you're looking to be a more accessible teacher, and nobody is like a totally accessible teacher, it's an ongoing process. This is definitely a tool to look into because it does those automatic captions.
Wasn't there kind of a neat idea of like a daily check-in or something using Flipgrid?
So,
or like a morning meeting?
I'll show you my morning meeting type deal that I built into the Canvas shell that I created. I think it would be kind of cool because Flipgrid in it of itself. So I thought we did with Flipgrid. Maybe we didn't. If you go into your
we've shared Flipgrid, or I'm sorry, we've shared Wakelet things, but I don't think we've talked about Flipgrid. If you missed our video on embed, that was yesterday, and you think you can still catch it on our Twitter and on our Facebook. We're having some issues with bots on YouTube, so we're trying to work that out.
So that embed code there is going to embed that entire group. And so if let's say they recently created different vocabulary for things inside here. So groups, there used to be topics, I believe. You could throw whatever you would like inside there. So say I'm going to call this Canvas Crew. Right. Join code is going to be, they killed Hal Jordan again, which is kind of messed up. This is why I don't like DC. Hal Jordan was my man. And so I'm like really like perturbed that Hal Jordan is dead again. So here's kind of where you got to make kind of a decision if you're going to use Flipgrid. Joining with the email is going to force the student to make sure that they're logged in with the @mb.ccsd.net email. If you want to do that, great. It essentially whitelists those, and that's another really interesting blacklisting and whitelisting now, given the current climate of our country. Anyway,
so interestingly enough,
yes,
tiny tangent. That is a topic in software development because we use terms like blacklist and whitelist, master and slave, and there has been a movement to eliminate that vocabulary from the field, and we'll have to discuss that more.
Interesting. So only individuals that have that @mb.ccsd.net, because it's looking at my extension, a domain on my email and saying, okay, cool, that's where you come from. This is where your kid's going to come from. But I could add other domains that it would whitelist as well, or that I don't know how it would allow as well. That's why I can stop saying that word.
Allow list is, yeah.
So, so if you had a friend in Washoe and you wanted to collaborate, I don't know what the Washoe people's like their domain is. I think it's like washowschools.net, like NV, something crazy. Anyway, you can put that inside there. The other thing for our little friends would be student usernames. So instead of giving them their emails, you put their first name, last name, and say, I know Christy is on here, so if you said, Osborne 1 or Preston 1 as this kid's name, Osborne 2 or Preston 2 as the next one, etc., etc., and or you could just upload a CSV that way as well. That gives you the ability to just say, all you need to remember is your Preston 1. You know your name, you're Preston 1 right now. That's who you're going to be in Flipgrid. The other thing is you can add guests to your deal. So this is a great thing for like, you want to show off for your parents and say, hey, come to our virtual art symposium in which kids are going to discuss the influence of Gustave Courbet on modern art. And everybody did their little reports and they put their little Flipgrid thing up there. You can do like people have done wax museums with Flipgrids, all kind of insane things like that. Great. I just want you to see with that password. I want you to be a guest in our classroom for just this period, and then we'll take that away. So that's how you would actually create your little topics. This is one I'm building mine right now for this upcoming school year. So my 5th grade friends are going to go here. It's August 24th. Is going to be like their little morning meeting. And every day, my plan is to create one little topic that's going to ask them a question and have them record the response. So what's your superhero power? If you could, if you could transport yourself to any other time period in the world, what would it be? If you could put yourself in your favorite book, what character would you would play? Stuff that's hopefully going to get their minds kind of engaged at the beginning. Everybody's going to want to record video because video is dope. Give them an opportunity to do that, and it's just click. This pops up. You can limit them, and I'm going to close this really quickly. You can limit, go into your edit here. You can limit the time or maximize the time if you would like. If you want them to give them 10 minutes to record, I'm sure some kid might take advantage of that. But like a question like this, 30 seconds is probably enough for you to deal with it. Our closed captions are going to be on each of the videos, which makes it really dope. If you want to moderate the videos, you can. And then we see some familiar tools here. You can upload a Wakelet as a resource directly into Flipgrid, which is really dope. Nearpod's the same thing. Your Cahoots, a Google search, anything from Microsoft, your Adobe Spark. So if you want to go and put that, hey, I want you to record yourself doing your logo project. Here's my logo. Here's, Mr. Lang's logo. Rock and roll. Show me your logo, or present your logo to the world. Why is this you, Bob, or whatever? Upload a video from your computer. You can record a video right here as motivation, also from YouTube and Vimeo, even though YouTube is a very interesting place in our district. I heard some other interesting things today about the state of YouTube in our district as well. Adding an emoji. Buncie's an interesting tool. Wonderopolis, they were just on. If you follow Flipgrid on Instagram, Wonderopolis was just with them today. And Giphy, not Jiffy, but Giphy. You can go and put a GIF on top of that as well. You can always change the way that a kid access this. If you want to start with emails and say, oh, perhaps my kids are having some difficulties logging in with their emails or whatever, you can change the student username. Just have to flip that. You can make it public, but then again, if it's public, it's public. All right, so right now, nv.ccsd.net are the only ones that are available. All right, throw attachments on there. So if you wanted to add assignments, so add a Google Doc, add a Google Slide or whatever, and whatever to do what you need to do, you can do that. One of the things you can do that's really cool is you can freeze topics. And what I do a lot of times is just schedule them. So say we're gonna start here on we'll start on the 8th and end of the 24th. That will automatically hide itself after the 24th. So talking about asynchronous work, great. I'm gonna give you a time limit. You've got 3 weeks to get this accomplished. After 3 weeks, this Flipgrid is going to be locked. It's not going to be available to you anymore. Notifications, just like most tools, do I want to know every day whether somebody did something inside of a Flipgrid? If you're a specialist like myself, you probably want to do that. Just because I see 40 classes in 7 days. I want to know who's doing what and how they're doing it. Allowing kids to download and share. I always keep this on because who knows what projects a kid might want to take a video of theirs and input it into. Also, Flipgrid gives you the ability to use filters and emojis and stuff. Gives you a lot of higher end, flashy effects that kids might not have because they might not have an iPad or something. It's to give them that ability to access those things. All right. If you want them, as anybody who's part of the topic, if you want them to receive notifications when new videos are added by either yourself or their peers, you can put that on as well. And down here is where I kind of start like playing around. So I kind of flip things on and off here. So video and selfies, everybody likes selfies generally. I keep those on, let kids do what they need to do. Being able to edit, great skill in real life. You need to be able to edit, kid, that stays on. Video comments, generally, once you set the ground rules, so this is how you comment, I think it's a totally cool thing. But do not go into this believing that kids know how to comment and refer to one another like as a natural thing. You need to go in very much with, this is how we comment respectfully online. This is how we demonstrate that we're good digital citizens, and Webs, you look like you're going to say something.
Yeah, so this is also a good opportunity and a good icebreaker initial activity, particularly when you're talking about being a distance learning classroom. You want to have that that conversation just as you would with in classroom, ground rules or guidelines or community agreement, whatever you want to call it. Work together and have the students build out what does it look like to comment on something respectfully. What kinds of things are non-examples of comments? What things shouldn't you be saying? So that they're involved in the conversation and involved in evolving what that looks like and why. I think that's super important. Don't just say this is what you need to do to comment and leave it at that. It should be a community conversation, evolving your policy, because they need to understand the root of like this is what good digital citizenship looks like, and this is why. So we don't call people names because that's disrespectful. Like if you wouldn't say that to someone in person, you shouldn't say that to them in the comment section. And understanding that, I think, is a really important initial activity, especially for a full distance learning classroom.
Thanks. The attachment links, I always leave that on as well. Maybe a kid has a link to Nat Geo or a Google Doc or something they want to go and use as a demonstration. Likes. So this is another place where you have to kind of set the stage for how this is going to work, or leave it cut off, because certain kids are going to look at, this kid got 50 likes and I got 2, and that may hurt my self-esteem. It's me, I just stay away from it. And no one ever notices that the likes aren't on there, because they don't know the likes are on there because I never cut them on. Yeah, and we make sure that everyone has a buddy. That's the other thing with the pairing. I want to start to show off with the pairing is making sure the kid has one person that person consistently can go to and say, hey, yo, I'm having difficulties with this part of this learning or this issue or whatever, and making sure that's the one person that can respond to their video if no one else does. My buddy is going to sit there and say, hey, great job, Junior. You did amazing. That's why we're bestest friends, even though we've never met each other in real life.
So something we do as part of pairing is called pair rotation. And we actually have a pair rotation matrix where you have 2 axes, and you have everyone's names listed on the y-axis, and you have everyone's names listed on the x-axis. And everyone rotates through having a pair of everyone else on the team. That way, it gives you and there's plenty of weeks in the year for everyone to rotate through with everyone else. That way, you're rotating through with another person. It gives them an opportunity to have meaningful connection with the other person. And like you said, it can be their person who is supposed to comment on their video, or the person that they reach out to if they get stuck. It's just their buddy for, say, that week.
Now, feedback is important. I never grade the kid stuff, so feedback, I'll go in, hey, that's really dope what you just did, or hey, you know what if you would have looked at it this way, or something like that. So that feedback is kind of important, but that's not grading their videos. You would update the topic, bada bing, they would do what they need to do. But you have that shared topic, and what do we have with the shared topic? We've got that embed code. Of course, I'm going to delete this group when I'm finished, because I'm throwing the Flipgrid join code and everything there. But the embed code would be there. You can also send that directly to Google Classroom if that was, the soup du jour at your cafe. So the embed code going right into Canvas, and you're good to go. All right.
Did I see you can also name a co-pilot?
Yes. So Copilot for your co-teachers, you can do multiple deals there. So you can edit the topic anytime you want. You can record a response. You can add the discovery so people can kind of find it or whatever. You can hide the topic. You can move the topic someplace else. You can duplicate it. You're going to export all the information from the topic as well and totally delete it. The video moderation as well, something I totally skipped. So video moderation, if you have some friends who perhaps are more risque, they might be doing the right now all the WAP memes are out. So if you got kids who perhaps trying to be a little bit more, risque with their situation, that may be something you want to deal with. So adding the co-pilots and stuff like that, just co-teachers you can roll with. Discovery is going to be places where you can go find things. Lots of really, really cool stuff in here, like stuff I didn't even know existed. If you're into Minecraft and whatever, lots of really, really dope stuff that as an adult, I'll get lost in. Like I won't even be doing Flipgrid and I'll kind of look at stuff like the Met. Who doesn't like the Met? But you can create collections of all these materials so that you can utilize those in your class as well. You'll show your activities. The mixtapes are kind of like mixtapes, so videos from your students that are really, really dope. What's good, Tiffany? Your shorts again we looked at. Grid pals are awesome because if you want to collaborate with another teacher in the world, in the country, or whatever, by grade, by subject, you can search and you can find somebody to collaborate in real time. So did this one time the first year I was on Flipgrid. It turned out pretty well, and then I got kind of stopped doing it. That's one of my good to hear. That's one of my like goals for this school year is to kind of set up one of my classes, at least in every grade level, with another educator somewhere else in our country. So really wasn't going to talk about Flipgrid, but good get Webs. Flipgrid is a dope tool that everyone should use. But to the Thanos tool now, right? So Loom, if you're not using it, hopefully our little walkthrough today is going to convince you that Loom is the tool that if you're going to be a distance educator, you should definitely use. There is a desktop client. You don't need the desktop client. Don't click that at all. You don't need it. You don't need it. You don't need it. If you've got a computer that you can download, totally cool. I have the desktop client on my computer. I have never once utilized it ever. Because we're amazing.
Also, the Mac client does some weird stuff. Like it'll. Oh.
I don't fool with it. Go ahead, Webs. No, just drop. Headphones. Can't hear you.
Hello?
Yep, you're good.
Okay. I was like, suddenly I can't figure out whether I'm muted or not. The desktop client does some weird things. At least on the Mac it does. Like every now and then it'll just like open itself and then close itself, which is not cool at all. So I would also recommend just sticking with the web version. Just curious for folks out there, who has used Loom before and who is new to using Loom? You can just put it in the comments or tweet it or whatever. Hopefully but continue.
Some Loom newbies. If you go to the pricing page immediately, you will see free for education there. All right, so it says, oh, $10 a month and whatever. Free for education. All you need to do, it's free for both yourself and your students. So your kids, if they're on Chromebooks, your kids can also get this tool to record their screens and turn things in. So this is just not a teacher tool. This is a student tool as well. So you just get the verified account, you do what you need to do, and you're good to go. This is definitely something that I'm going to encourage my kids to deal with as we rock and roll into this new phenomena that is distance learning or wherever
distance learning.
Yeah. So why do I dig it? First of all, the Googles, always the Googles, right? So the Googles makes things so really, really nice. So I like it because it's YouTube that I can control in terms of creating my own little channel here. I got my own little folders. I got all my stuff in here. You can't do that with Screencastify. It's going to throw itself into your Google Drive, which I don't want to Screencastify on my Google Drive. This does not exist in my Google Drive. This is all on the web. Web, do you look like you'd say something?
Yeah, so you breezed over the whole logging in with Google. Advantage to logging in with Google is going to be for students, particularly the younger ones. If they're already logged in once and you use the single sign-on, then all they have to do is click that button and authorize it. They don't have to type their password. They don't have to type their email again, and that saves a lot of frustration and time.
Facts. Now, again, the folders in and of itself make this like the best tool in the world for me. The fact that I can share the folders in all of its contents. So as I create little videos for teachers or for administrators, I just jump them all in the same box. I can add a description if I wanted to, but I can share that entire folder with my little friends here. And I don't have to go back and forth with this video and that video and whatever. So let's kind of just play around here. I'm going to go right here to my little pitch. And it also has that very beautiful rose Google Chrome extension. So if I click that, it's going to pop up. Wonderful. Now, I've got my screen cam. Hello world. Mom, I'm on TV. So I can do my screen in my cam, just my cam only, or just my screen only. So if I just want to take a picture, image of myself and just wax philosophically to my students, I can do that. Move back and forth. If I just want to do my current tab, I can do that. Full desktop. And also it's going to monitor my voice, which is awesome. If I want to mute myself, I can mute myself. Some advanced options down here. I can flip the camera if I had another camera on the other side. I can change my camera here. In terms of my microphone source, if I want to change where my microphone is coming from. Use photo for screen only. Yes, I want that. I'll show my little avatar down there, or I can cut that off. The control menu is down here. And I can do the recording countdown. Down here with myself, I can be really weird and move myself all around this page. I can make myself exponentially larger. So if I want to get big, I can do that. I've never been a tall person. I can also hide my menu. So great. I'm just going to record like 15 seconds real quick. This is the application window. That's what we're going to do. Share. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We're doing this as a demonstration. All right, great. So just send me right down to Loom. And this is where Loom like destroys everybody else on the market. Hands down, nobody else can fool with them. So essentially I have this YouTube-like interface here, right? So it's going to immediately conjure that, oh my goodness, this looks like YouTube.
And I think that was something we talked about, was it Monday or Tuesday, about how using those same patterns you see in websites over and over again makes it so that the student can quickly adapt to where all the controls are, how to use it. There's like an intuitiveness to it, even if they've never used the tool, simply because they're using the same design paradigms.
Facts, facts, facts. So it's automatically by the name of the tab that I was working on. It's going to automatically title my my presentation here. So if I don't want that, I'm just going to demonstration. Excellent. I've got the emojis there so the kids can kind of look at instantaneously. I'm getting that feedback for anybody from kindergarten. Oh my goodness, that was amazing. That sucked, Mr. Lang. You need to do that over again, etc. Right? You've got our strange friends. I know Webbs listens to podcasts at 2.5 times, don't you? So you have strange people.
1.5,
okay.
But yeah.
You have strange people that like to watch the videos faster than normal speed. You can do that if you would like. You can copy the link and send the link to whoever you would like. But you can also deal with, I just want someone with a link to be able to deal with this. Or I can make it public so anybody can see it. And also say, I just want to add a password on it so that only people with that password can deal with it. Or I can invite specific people to deal with it. All right. This is the part down here that I really dig. So first and foremost, it says, do you want me to add a link to the page you just recorded on? All right. Awesome sauce. Click post. So the first post is going to be, hey, if you don't know, kid, this is where I recorded it. Perhaps I want you to go back there. You're going to, have to look at this presentation or whatever. I'm walking you through the presentation in the video, and there's the link to the presentation. The other thing that's really cool here is, hello, ladies and gentlemen, we're doing this as I pause and I click. Let's say I click there. You'll see that, and let's move it up a little bit. Cool. When I stop it, and I can move that to at any time period that I would like, say a kid has a particular question at a particular second there. They can say, yo, wonderful. Kid asks, I hit the post button, it goes under, I can reply to him in the video. So I can say, okay, cool. Bob, who answered, yo, this is the deal, this is why I stopped there, etc. So I can have this discourse immediately with the student rather than them watching a screen capture and I have no idea. The kid may totally be confused watching the entire thing, and I would have no idea that the kid is confused until the next day or whatever. Webs.
So am I correct in understanding that as I'm watching this video, say it's a 5-minute long video, I get to minute 2 and 15 seconds and I have a question, I post that question. You as the instructor see that, can respond to it, and they don't have to spend the next 2 minutes and 45 seconds being confused about what's happening, or 1 minute for it, whatever.
Big fact.
So that you can address it and you know where they're asking the question. So if you need to reference where that question is coming from, it gives you some context.
Big fact. So that really helps you as an instructor, and you get a notification that says someone just commented on the video. Boom, it goes to your email. I can go back to the video and say, okay, cool, let me handle that right now. That's totally not the right way to interpret what I just did. Let me explain it to you a little bit better. Or here's a Google Meet link really quickly. I throw in that comments. Click that link, Bob, and then we're gonna have this face-to-face conversation where I'm gonna explain to you how to actually do the rise over run in the correct way or whatever it is. All right, so that's the first reason why I like it. Go ahead, Webbs.
I think this also is, you mentioned this is a powerful tool for students as well, because if you're thinking about, hey, let's say you have a pair of students who are, with each other and they need to send, this is how you do rise over run, this is how you do XYZ. I mean, probably not for kindergartners, but for the older kids, they could then take ownership of their own learning and help each other as well, which would take some of the heavy lift off of you as the teacher, because now if kids know how to use these tools to help each other, then you can say, hey, Bob, go help, Janessa out with rise over run because they don't understand it. And they can create a little walkthrough video, and they can they'll probably find ways to bring other things in and do the TikToks and the whatever else is. But the real question I have here, Mike, is can I embed it?
I'm glad you asked that, Webbs. That's again why it makes it a Thanos tool. So I can go and I can download this if I want. So again, if I was going to take this video in, perhaps I don't have a lot of video editing equipment on my computer. If I want to take this and put this in a different form, I could upload it to Flipgrid or download a Flipgrid video and add it to it. I could really make this really, really cool tutorial just with these web tools. I can duplicate the video if I would like. I can say this is total garbage and get rid of it. Or I can add a link gift, a copy. There's that embed code. So I can take that and put it right into my Canvas course. And now we're really winning, right? So I can go and I can create this whole wall of tutorial videos that a kid can go and say, I need to learn how to do this. Click that, this other thing, and I don't have to go anywhere else. It's there and we're good to go. So the embed is the one tool. That is the thing that makes everyone equal, because I don't care how many Bitmoji classrooms you have or whatever. If I can go and take anything that has an embed code and embed it anywhere, I can make my Canvas course very dynamic without knowing how to use Canvas, really, just knowing how to embed things into a page.
Because honestly, really, what have we talked about? And I'm really hoping people don't feel like they got cheated or anything, because the most we've had to deal with in terms of Canvas is create a page, embed the thing. That's it. Create a new page, embed the thing. You could embed everything on the main landing page if you want to. I do have a question though. So let's say we create these pages, right? I create a whole unit about Rise Over Run. I create a whole unit about communities. It's all embedded in one page. How do I make sure that my students can access those pages?
Glad you asked that too. Let's get to the last couple pieces of this, and we're going to go right on back to Canvas in just a second. So you can edit the settings. So if you don't want comments on there for whatever reason, You don't want to get email comment notifications for whatever reason. You don't want the kids to use the emojis. Perhaps they're giving you a bunch of thumbs down on your videos and your feelings get hurt or something like that. You can get rid of that if you want. If you don't want the animated thumbnail, I really enjoyed that. Putting that in emails, that's really cool. You don't have to have the Loom branded player because you're a pro customer even though you're not paying for it. So if you don't want Loom all on your videos, you can do that. Viewer can download. If you don't want the kids to download, now I like this because you don't know the bandwidth the kid is working with. Maybe I want to download that video so I can go and watch it without having to use the internet. Oh, I got you. I can turn my Wi-Fi back on and save some bandwidth. Analytics of viewers. So right now, no one has seen this video. Perhaps you want to hide that from your viewers. It is what it is. I don't really touch that. Save. You can edit using the trim tool. You can also custom thumbnails. So again, if you built your own little logo in Adobe Spark and you want to put your own little logo there, the amazing teacher person of the year, whatever logo, you can put that there. But this is the thing, that call to action button. I can click there and say that button's going to appear as a link. I'm going to say your today's activity. Wonderful. And I'm going to put that link inside there. So perhaps that pitch is going to be it. Copy that. Oops. There we go. Save. You see that link that's there?
If you caught it, they were hex codes. You could change the color of your button too.
So if you want to go back in and change the hex codes, you can do that. You can change it so it's square, rounded, slightly rounded, or whatever. So that's going to be inside there. You watch my little video. Today's activity is directly there. I click it and it goes back to that pitch. So really, 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 really powerful in terms of, again, thinking about your user and making it very linear for your user to know what I need to do rather than having to guess, okay, I watched this video, now where do I go? The call to action is essentially embedded, is a button embedded in your video that allows the kid to say, okay, I totally understand this now. Let me go do my activity.
So if you put aside the fancy marketing language of call to action, it's really just a button that takes you somewhere.
That's essentially what it is. So I've got that. Great. I'm going to close that and I'm going to see that video, once I refresh this page, is down here at the bottom. I can build folders. So again, I organize mine by units and grade levels. All my videos are already there. All I'm going to do is take those, embed them where I need to, embed them in websites, embed them in Canvas shells if I needed to or whatever. Rock and roll. I can duplicate them, download them, archive, and rename them there as well. I can just copy a link and drop it someplace if I would like, but I can also share entire folders, which I really dig. I think that's an amazing thing to deal with. Amazing. All right. Now, to Webb's point, great. I got this little page for screencasting. Awesome. Now,
just for clarification, this is a Canvas page.
This is a Canvas page. Okay. So this is a Canvas page for what we're going to deal with, right? Great. So cool. I took a table. I put a picture of myself there. This is watch on Looms. This is just a Loom video that's embedded. It's going to show a kid how to use Incredibox. If you don't play with Incredibox, another tool to show to your kids, Incredibox is the lick. As long as you on Chromebooks rather. iPad, you got to pay $4.99 for, which kind of sucks. But it is totally free on your Chromebook or on the web. So excellent. And so then I said, cool, I'm just going to be kind of like silly, but not silly. I just took a table, resized the table, filled in the table, and then dropped this is just a Flipgrid short that I took the embed code and put it right in the center there. And again, the CC being there is really dope. So if I were you, if I was going to do a kind of I was going to play narrator for your course, Flipgrid shorts, even if you never used the Flipgrid tool with your kids, which you should, but even if you never did, Flipgrid shorts are going to automatically close caption your stuff. Take your deal. You could build them into, again, tables. You could build it any way that you would like if you would want that to be the case. Now, if you want to do things in just a page, you could do really interesting things. So Canvas is built into modules, and I just threw these modules in here today. So these are just the days of the week. And I think I might actually make a course, given what we have webs, and just embed the YouTube videos inside the course and just throw it onto CCSD just so it's there. So
Yeah, people can go back and rewatch it.
it's built into modules. So again, modules are just containers. That's all we're talking about. The modules, fancy word for a container, right? And great. What can I put in containers? I can put assignments, I can put quizzes, I can put a file, I can put a page, I can put discussion, headers, external URLs, so links to other websites or external tools, links to other tools. Great. Now, you as designer of your experience, this is where it becomes invaluable that you plan out what your plan of action is before you even get to the Canvas course. You have to know what your destination is way before. Way before. Like, this is a tool that if you've got your unit plan and your idea there, that's important. The other thing is patterns, 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 patterns. Predictability is a great thing in education. I know where something's going to be. I know what the pattern's going to be. I don't got to guess. I know when I go to Mr. Lang's class, the first thing is going to be an introduction. Then we're going to do a discussion. Then we're going to do a page where he has some embedded video. And then we do an activity. And then we do an assessment. Boom, boom, boom. That's how it's going to be all the time.
And if you think about kids' TV, that's exactly how kids' TV works. Dora the Explorer has the exact same pattern to every episode, every single time. If you watch YouTube videos, the creators tend to follow the same pattern every single time. TV shows have the same pattern every single time. It has that predictability, so it becomes very stable, and it's like, okay, I kind of know where I'm going because it follows the same pattern every single time I encounter it.
And you can duplicate the module. So once you get one module pattern down, it's going to be this, then this, then this, then this, then this. Duplicate the module. You never stray from the pattern. Keep the same pattern. There's no reason to change. Same pattern over and over and over and over and over again. You'll as you go through, and hopefully as you do more courses in Canvas, etc., you'll learn about mastery paths and looping modules back into other modules and stuff like that. But for right now, keep it really, really vanilla. Here's the pattern. Here's my embeds. That is all.
So you can stack your pages into these modules. Is that correct?
This is absolutely true. So that's a page. I know because that icon is there. I'm just going to add another page. Now, I'm going to call that new page. Page name. I'm just going to call it page 2 for right now. I can rename this anytime I would like. So say I get in here and page 2 is not exactly what that needs to be page 1. I can take that and just drag it up to the top. And it's going to change the order of your scenario.
How do I change the name?
If I come back over here, I go over and oops. Actually, I can change the name without having to even do that. Edit. Not page 2. Save, rock and roll. Now, the biggest thing to me, again, is you don't have to be a master of all this stuff in here. All you need to know is that a module is going to be, there are certain courses I've taken in Canvas, and I've seen people do a Canvas that don't have home pages. They just have modules. You just look at the modules. They have no home page, no introduction or anything. It's like, cool. I see exactly what I'm going to do. You can lock the modules so to make them dependent on the module previous to it, so the kids can't just jump ahead if you would like. Whatever. I'm not usually a jerk like that. I let the kids go at their own pace or the participants go at their own pace, unless it's something that builds on something else. But all this stuff in here, all that is are you going to publish it? Are you going to add a new deal there? And are you going to move the contents, move the module up and side down, delete it? And you can share modules themselves to the commons. So if you come up with something really funky, like, oh my gosh, this is something that every last teacher in the Clark County School District would benefit from. This is really simple. It's not something that's going to be complicated. I got this dynamite module. I can share that entire module right for everyone else so they don't have to deal with it. Like I know Christy is a humanities teacher. Great. There are tons of us. There might be a module that we say, okay, this is a robotics module for kindergartners. I don't want you to have to go through what I just went through with these 5-year-old kids. I understand now what I did. Here's the container. Go forth and do what you need to do. So you can also show love that way. Webs.
I don't want to do this today because we're over time, but I'm going to leave a cliffhanger in that tomorrow I want to talk about the entire end-to-end flow, speaking in developer language, from what it looks like for a student to come into the course and to go through this module.
Oh, indeed, indeed. One last thing before we get off, because the last piece de resistance, what I totally forgot about, is that you do have a studio inside of Canvas. It's there in the bottom left-hand corner. That studio exists. For some reason, in our Clark County School District training, they did not mention that the studio is there. The studio is rather nifty. Now, when you click...
What does the studio do, Mike?
Oh my gosh, I'm glad you asked, Webs. Now, you can record screens inside of Canvas. Now, it requires you to download a little piece, a little DMG if you're on a Mac. What do they call the things on PCs? The files.
I think it'd probably be an exe, an executable. So, but you download a little program.
Yeah, I don't use a screen capture program because I can do the same thing with Loom and just embed in the page.
There are far better tools.
So
every time we've tried to use it, it gets hung up.
So the webcam capture, you can capture with your webcam directly inside, and you can add things. So you can drag and drop videos from your desktop directly there, and you can also be naughty and use YouTube in Canvas and just be like, look, I didn't know, officer, I didn't know. So you can fill your YouTube videos inside there as well, which when you go to a page, the reason why this is kind of powerful, even if you don't want to deal with a YouTube video at a current time, right? Say it's a video that you just found and you're like, oh my goodness, that's really wild. And Casey, got your email. I'll answer your question in just a second. This Wiser page is there. And I demoed it multiple times on my computer that it worked. It might be a Chromebook. I've never used a Chromebook before in my life to do anything. So the Chromebook world is going to be very interesting for me to deal with. If you go to your plugin up here, you have a Canvas Studio plugin, and that's going to show you all the assets that you've ever uploaded. So this is a little video I shot earlier. It's another little video I shot earlier. These are 2 videos that I found on YouTube, and I can put those into my deal. Also, that's a video I shot of my little Tiger Time thing we made the first day, or the logo I made a couple of days ago, but I showed you the first day. So those videos can be used at any time. So if you've got some kind of standard video that you're going to roll with, some kind of introduction to your class or whatever, you can deal with it. Now, quick aside to Casey's question about whether it embeds inside. Now, when I went to Student View, after I saw your email, when I went to Student View and logged in with Google, what happened was I got a cool little page that popped up. Actually, I'll show you, because we're looking at my whole screen, so it's all good. So I'm not looking as a student, I'm just looking as the person's dealing with the page right now. So I'm gonna hit the sign in button. Great. So you get the pop-up like you wouldn't usually. Hit the sign in with me. It's gonna ask me to go through all the rigmarole or whatever of Google Classroom. Yes, you can deal with that. Great. And so it popped up like this for me when I was looking at the developer. So it just opened up inside. So it wasn't a true embed.
Can't see your screen.
So exactly. So it wasn't a true embed. You can't see it, but they can see it because you're seeing my window. They're seeing my screen.
Okay.
So it wasn't a true embed. Now, when I tried it as a student, it was a true embed. It embedded, it stayed inside the page. But me logging in through Google as myself, it didn't let me do that. So I would be interested to know whether or not a Chromebook would actually do that. And I've been trying to find some friend of mine who will let me use a Chromebook so I don't have to buy one, just to see if that's just a weird, like, me thing. If it's, yes, it's going to not truly embed and pop this window out that just, you're just essentially bringing the login to the kid. I don't know. Very interesting. It's on iPads. I've never had a problem whatsoever. They log in, they do what they need to do. So it's interesting. It's very interesting. It was a cool question. Cool little mystery. Go ahead.
That's a good point, though, is like you are going to run into these issues. So you may have a student who's doing something on a different device and it's not acting the same way as when you tried it as the teacher on your device. So something to keep in mind is like if students are having trouble, you want to make sure you check and see like what device are you using? Is it the same as what you as the teacher are using? That could be part of the problem. So I think another aspect of this of teaching remotely now is being able to troubleshoot the technology and figure out what's wrong.
Cool. Casey said he can check it out on Thursday. Awesome sauce. That sounds like a plan, my brother. Excellent, excellent. So yeah, we're gonna there's it since we're a one-to-one iPad school. This has also been very interesting. The world of Chromebooks is this new, fascinating, interesting place, and so our iPads are not going to be given to some students because they're going to encourage us to give Chromebooks to certain students. So that's also going to be like we have teachers who've been using one-to-one iPads for the last 3 years. It's going to be very interesting how you can't refer to apps. You're going to have to refer to processes, or if you're on the iPad, it's this. If you're on the Chromebook, it's that. Or really being device agnostic and being purposefully device agnostic, where no kid is going to feel like, oh my God, how do I do that? That was really cool, but I can't do that because I'm on whatever device I happen to be on. So works. Any other questions, comments, concerns, issues? Awesomes to the sauce.
I'm going to say, as I always say, we're looking for feedback. If there's something specific that you're interested in, let us know. If this is helpful, let us know. If it's not helpful, let us know. We're aiming to produce content that is useful for you as the teacher, in order to kind of lessen the stress of what this distance learning thing is. So you can hit us up on Twitter. We're at Trust a Hoodlum. On Facebook, we're just the Intelligent Hoodlums. You can just search for that. And on YouTube, youtube.com/Intelligent Hoodlums Ed, or just search the Intelligent Hoodlums, and I think we're like the 4th or 5th option down. You can also just message us on our website. We have a contact form on our website. That's how Casey got a hold of us, theintelligenthoodlums.com. You can also watch the live streaming there if you want to. But yeah, we're always looking for feedback. We want to make our content better, and the way that we do that is by hearing from the folks who watch it.
And tomorrow we're talking collage. What kind of tools can we build? Very interesting images and weird stuff, and make the pages look kind of more interesting than just blank white pages all the time.
It's still accessible.
Exactly. All right. If nothing else, I'm about to do the thing. Yeah, come on. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Bye.